Welcome back to Clash of Cultures. As we continue along with our 2023 college football preview, we're going to be taking a stop at Arizona and looking at the Wildcats and see what they have in store for their season. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss a single upload. We could be talking about your favorite teams or your favorite team's rival, so be sure to do that. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your loyal support and love towards the channel, towards my dad and I. We've been growing tremendously. We're almost at 750 subscribers. Like I said before, we're going to be doing another giveaway at 1,000, giving another signed Heisman jersey. We gave away a Charlie Ward jersey a few weeks back, so that was always fun. Today's comment of the day comes from Bama9615. Those of you guys who watched yesterday's video, the Ohio State Michigan the game video, go and look at this comment section. He basically says he thought that Jack was going to pull the Brutus head out from underneath the desk. So that was hilarious. That deserved to be comment of the day. That one made both of us laugh, so that was fun. As always, like I said, make sure you guys comment, put your notifications on, be the first one in the comment section so you guys can be comment of the day. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Arizona Wildcats. Dad, what do you think about their projection this year and their outlook, I guess I'd say?
Yeah, so team went 5-7 last year, had some ups and downs, but they are returning a lot of the offense. Delora, the quarterback, and you look at this. The projection is 5-6, or 6-6 if but when you look at their issues, it's what they lost on defense and the fact that they're in the Pac-12. They have a very tough schedule this year, and obviously we'll get into our predictions later for a team that didn't necessarily play well last year. So they are returning a lot, specifically on offense, but I think they're going to have some concerns playing in that Pac-12. There's a lot of other conferences with this team and the talent they're bringing back that I would have had much better predictions for them. But the schedule they have this season is going to be tough, even with all that they're returning on offense. I think that defense is going to be very leaky this season. What's your thoughts?
So, I mean, just looking at the schedule from last year, obviously they finished, 5-7?
Yeah,
so
5-7.
Just under being bowl eligible. I don't think they've been to a bowl game since 2017, so it's been a little bit of time. They were 1-11 in 2021. So obviously, 4-game jump is still a massive improvement under the new head coach who picked up, that job in 2021. He picked up an 11 loss team. So, I mean, we kind of see his progression as a coach there in Arizona. I do anticipate they're going to be a little bit better this year. They have one of the better quarterbacks in the Pac-12. Obviously, we talked about how deep the Pac-12 quarterback situation is. But I mean, there's 12 teams there. I think he's a top 5, top 6-ish quarterback. So they have a good player there. Like you said, they're bringing a lot back on offense. But just to kind of get into their roster makeup, although they are bringing a lot back on offense, they do lose Dorian Singer, who transferred to USC to go play with Caleb Williams, the reigning Heisman winner. But I do think they still bring back a lot on offense. You bring back Michael Wiley, Jacob Cohen, who was the number 4 leading receiver in the conference last year. Then you bring back true freshman to Tyro McMillan, who had 8 touchdowns last year. So I think those two guys there, as well as bringing over Montana Limitless Craig from Colorado, I think that those 3 receivers are going to be good enough for Delora to have weapons at his disposal to pair along with Michael Wiley. And then you bring back an offensive lineman. You bring back your starting tight end. So I think offensively it's not going to be the issue. But like my dad said, on defense, that's kind of be where they have to hang their hat, I guess you'd say. You bring over Justin Flo from Oregon, who was a top-rated recruit. I did not think he was going to transfer to Arizona. If those of you guys who keep up with the transfer portal kind of news a couple months back when he did announce, no one thought that he was going to go there. And then I guess he got crystal ball there. And then he announced, and I was like, wow, that's pretty. I thought he was going to go to USC. I'm pretty sure he's a SoCal kid. I'm pretty sure he's a SoCal kid, so I thought he was going to go there to kind of ring chase, if you want to say. But he went to a smaller school to try to help them compete. So I respect that. You bring over 3 defensive linemen, one from the Big Ten, one from the SEC, and then you bring over Tyler Manoa from UCLA. So I think they have the pieces to kind of fit in. It just depends on if they could all mesh. Because I don't think the players they lost are superbly more talented than the players they gained. It's just going to be a matter of chemistry. Can they fill the holes that they lost and kind of produce rather than just what's on paper?
Yeah, I really like the roster on offense. right? And we talked about Delora over 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns last year. Michael Wiley over 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. You talk about losing Singer, but Montana coming and filling in. And if you guys remember, Montana was the guy who I think went for over 100 yards in the Colorado spring game. You bring back Jacob, who was a 1,000-yard receiver last year, 7 touchdowns. You bring back McMillan, who had 8 touchdowns, 700 yards. So you bring back a lot of offensive production. Now, the problem is you lost about half of that defense, and you are replacing them with transfers as you kind of look at that key addition list. And it's a question of, does it all mesh in a conference that really kind of hangs its hat on good offensive production in what I think is going to be the best offensive production year for the Pac-12.
I agree. Those of you guys who have been watching our preview videos or any other videos for that matter, any of the award shows, anything like that, my dad and I have been beating the drum that the Pac-12 is going to be the deepest conference. They have the best quarterback play. They're probably going to have the best offensive play all around. So, I mean, I think the West Coast football this year are going to be, must-see TV. So those of you guys who live on the East Coast, make sure you guys check into that. But to kind of get into their predictions, I'll go first. So I have this team going 6-6 with a floor of 3-9 and a ceiling of 8-4. So I think they do become bowl eligible after a 6-year hiatus of being bowl eligible. But I do think it was pretty easy to kind of depict who they're going to win and lose to. I think this was the easiest prediction to date for me. When you look at Northern Arizona, I think that's a win. Those of you guys who watched the Mississippi State video, I think Mississippi State beats them. I think they're just a little bit of a better of a team than them. And then you got UTEP and Stanford, which I deem to be wins. Washington and USC both going to be competing for the Pac-12 title, so I don't think they're going to be able to beat any of those teams. I think they get the job done at Washington State. We haven't done a Washington State prediction just yet, but I don't think Washington State is going to be very good this season. They have Cam Ward, but I think the surrounding pieces around him as well as the defense is going to be a little bit lackluster to be able to compete with some of these other teams in the Pac-12. Then you have Oregon State and UCLA, which, again, if you watch those previews, I had them beating Arizona. And then Colorado. Obviously, my dad and I have different visions on what Colorado is going to do this year. And I think Colorado won't be good enough to beat Arizona with Delores quarterback play as well as everything offensively that they have. I can't see Colorado winning that game. And then I think Utah is one of those games where I penciled in as being the ceiling. I just don't think Arizona can beat this team. And then I got Arizona beating Arizona State in the rivalry game. But how did you come up with 4-8 and then your floor and ceiling?
Yeah, so this is really a byproduct of having a tough schedule to me. And then so much turnover on the defensive end. I think this schedule is brutal, and this doesn't even include Oregon. So first, let me start with their ceiling. There are only 3 games that I truly believe they just cannot win. I would be shocked if they won. And that's Washington, USC, and Oregon. Utah. Those are the only 3 games I'd be really, truly shocked. I think they could pull off an upset at Mississippi State. I believe the Washington State game is a toss-up. Oregon State is a toss-up. UCLA is a toss-up. Mike, the reason I have them losing to Colorado is I think at that point in the season, the teams are going to be headed in 2 different directions. I think Colorado will have meshed with all the transfers and they should be on the uprise. And when I say uprise, that only may be a couple of wins for Colorado. I think Arizona is going to be on the decline because they have a tough stretch of schedule. When you go Washington, USC, Washington State, which was a pretty good team last year, Oregon State, and we talked about them being a pretty good team last year, UCLA, which is a pretty good team, and then following that, it's going to be Utah. I think they probably have a better mesh, more talent than Colorado, but I think that Colorado is going to be a little bit more optimistic, where Arizona is going to be in a downswing. And with that game being at Colorado, I gave that as kind of Colorado's one chance to get a good win in the Pac-12. Like I said, I do have them at 4-8, but I also have their ceiling at 9-3 because if this offense does click and if those transfers can come in and kind of get that defense up to par, this team could be a playmaker, could be a noisemaker in the Pac-12.
So Quick question. How did you come up with the floor of 2-10? What two teams can you are you? I'm assuming UTEP and North Arizona.
Yeah, that's the only two games that I'm like, I would be shocked if they absolutely
Because
lost those games.
I think Stanford is going to be terrible this year.
Yeah,
so that's why I gave them those three.
So Stanford, I think is going to be down. I don't think Stanford beating Arizona, and if you just say historically, is like some earth-shattering, groundbreaking thing.
I mean, I can see that. But that's going to be our prediction for the Arizona Wildcats for this year. So a little bit of a discrepancy there, 6-6 and 4-8. Not too far off, but obviously one of us thinking that they're going to be bowl eligible. But before we end this video, we're going to go ahead and do our trivia. So trivia is going to be kind of like the one you did, either yesterday's video or the day before that, where you asked me NFL players where they were drafted from and then the team that they played. So the first one we're going to do is this player was drafted in 2006 from UCF.
Okay.
He got drafted to Denver. He played for Miami, Chicago, the Jets.
The wide receiver, Brandon. What's his name?
What's his name?
You know what I'm talking about. The wide receiver.
I am athlete. What's his name?
Brandon
Marshall.
Marshall.
All right. Next one, we're gonna go drafted out. We're gonna do four names. Drafted out of Maryland in 2016.
Okay.
Drafted to the Jaguars, played for the Vikings, and played for the Ravens.
Is it Stephon Diggs?
No, he is a defensive lineman.
UCF.
No. He drafted out of Maryland in 2016.
Oh, Maryland.
The Jaguars, the Vikings, and the Ravens.
He's on the Ravens now.
Yes.
2016 or 2006?
16.
So it's not Calais Campbell. I don't know where he went to college. I don't know. Who's that?
Yannick Ngakoue.
I should have got that. Okay.
Alrighty. Next one is North Carolina, drafted in 2014. Detroit, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. Offensive player.
North Carolina, 2015.
2015.
14. Got drafted by 14. Detroit.
2014. 14. Lions, Colts, Pittsburgh.
Offensive player.
Yes.
Lions, Colts,
mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a lineman?
No.
I'm not sure who.
Eric Ebron.
Okay.
All right. Last one. Let's go with Florida State in 2014.
Okay.
Atlanta Falcons, New York Giants. I do not believe he's in the Giants anymore.
Florida State.
Offensive player.
Offensive player.
Falcons, then Giants.
So this has to be a receiver. Falcons, Giants.
Yes.
It's not a running back. Has to be a receiver. It's not a quarterback. Is it? Maybe. What college?
Florida State, 2014.
Who is it? I don't know.
Running back Devontae Freeman.
Oh. Devontae Freeman definitely is not with the Giants. I believe he's with the Panthers.
That's I don't think he's even in the league anymore, to be honest with you. But that's gonna do it for the trivia for this or today's episode. Those of you guys who stuck around this long with us, thank you guys so much. As always, like I said, like, comment down below what you guys think of the video, your takes, opinions, any other video ideas you guys may have. And most importantly, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to give away another hide jersey. Hit the notification bell so you guys be the first one to comment and be a part of the comment of the day. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.